Hey guys, Kyle the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for One Piece chapter 975. And, okay, I cannot lie, this was probably one of the most hilarious chapters I've read in a while. Okay, so right out of the gate, the one thing I thought was hilariously amazing is the little fact about the Sunny being made out of Adam Treewood. Well, pretty much came back pretty much came back as an explanation for how it managed to survive the Orochi's ambush, which not only makes sense in context, but it reinforces the legend that yeah, the Adam Wood really is one of the strongest resources in One Piece. Just from how like just the fact that it's and from just the fact that the Sunny's made of it and survived that, it just the Adam Wood in itself, it throws a giant big monkey wrench into Orochi's plans. And at first I was prepared to give Orochi credit where it's due to I was prepared to give credit where it's due to Kaido and Orochi, just in how, despite the worst generation trio's arrival, that they still managed to kneecap the whole operation. But then good old Oda flips the script on the whole situation again by having Denjiro appear with even greater numbers than what it was initially intended. And it's one of those reveals that I kind of, where as I was reading on, I kind of expected. Like, it's again one of those times where you're reading through and you're like, okay, or you're reading through and you're like, okay, when exactly is Denjiro gonna show up? And it was just the way it was done. It was just executed so perfectly, and in some ways, even a little better than like Denjiro's appearance, and just how he got there, how it's explained. It's even better than I imagined, honestly. And yeah, let's. And with that said, let's talk about the whole explanation about how Denjiro arrived with the reinforcements and him revealing himself to Kinemon, which is which is basically Oda's way of doing the whole traders on both sides thing. But what makes this whole reveal even better is that Denjiro basically used Orochi's own plan against him. He basically, by virtue of Denjiro, by virtue of Denjiro having been with under Orochi's like under being a false ally of Orochi all this time, he basically knew everything. So he knew everything. He basically knew of everything that was going to happen. So by virtue of that, he was able to subvert. He was able to subvert it all, just through his. He was able to subvert it all and basically pretty much he was able to subvert it all and pretty much appear with everyone with all the reinforcements and all the backup that would be needed in order to finally like pretty much go forward with the raid on basically on Onigashima. So in that sense, it's like it's beautifully handled. Um, now, of course, now of course, with that being said, despite Denjiro like pretty much, and despite Denjiro pretty much subverting like the worst case scenario imaginable, uh, we have to talk about the hilarious elephant in the room, which is that none of what the plan that Denjiro laid out was even part of Kinemon's original strategy. It was all either accidental, coincidental, or something coincidental, or something Denjiro just cooked up by himself. And honestly, what makes it funnier is the way that Denjiro keeps praising Kinemon in this chapter for in this chapter. I don't even know if that's Denjiro legitimately like believing that this was Kinemon's plan, or if he's putting up some kind of front for the sake of appearances and trying to make like Kinemon look good and make him seem like this fearful tactician. Uh, Personally, just based on the dialogue, I'm going for the former over the latter, but like in either case, it's fucking hilarious. And that face on the final page that Kinemon makes of like That's like you can tell Kinemon's just just trying to process everything that just happened, and he's like, what the fuck do I do now? I didn't. I didn't come up with any of this. This wasn't my plan. It just happened, and like, that's yeah, that's like really it just honestly in that situation, all I can really say to Kinemon is just pretty much roll with it, dude. Like you basically been built up as this master strategist already. You may as well just roll with that shit, dude. It's I think the best thing you can do right now. That there's no other, there's no better, there's no way. Like, hey, it's already you're already being built up as this guy, as this. So you may as well just roll with it for right now. Like it's it's so hilariously done, and yet at the same time, it just works. It all works, unintentionally or otherwise. It just works. And I love when Oda does this. He does these he sets things up to be very coincidental, but when applied in context, it just works so well with the plan, whether intentionally or not. With the plan, whether intentionally or not, it's like it really does. It really does go into to something I think Oda really believes in, which is that everything happens based on luck. Like with the Straw Hat's a fucking lucky. Straw Hat's a fucking like Luffy. He's Luffy the Straw Hat. They're all freaking luck charm. Okay, they really are. Um, and and I What and also so one so being serious obviously outside of that, one thing to glean from this as well though is that by Denjiro basically following a different set of instructions than what was intended, he pretty much dismantled everything Kanjuro had done up to this point, and all the undercover work he completed for Orochi. So it kind of exposes how even though Orochi had two spies working for him, the one who faked his allegiance turned out to be the more competent one than the one who was actually loyal to him. So yeah, it's kind of funny how that in its way works. Like the one who wasn't the one who was on Orochi's side, like basically just botched everything in this one single moment, and the one who wasn't loyal to him ended up being the one who he should have trusted more. Like holy crap. And but in some ways too, you could say that this is that this narrative that this way that this happened is all kind of playing as well into the whole idea that even though it was delayed, even though it was delayed by definitely a few years, even though Orochi had tried everything in order to subvert all this, in the end, like the prophecy of the Kurozumi clan, like falling to the Kozuki, it's happening again. Like the Kurozumi clan is basically going to repeating the same mistakes, and it's happening again. Like the Kurozumi clan is going to fall after this raid. It is going to happen. So yeah, it's funny how even in Orochi's best attempts to subvert his fate, he still ended up doomed. He still ended up falling. He's still going to end up falling to it now. Now, of course, we have to also discuss the info bomb that was dropped to our heroes in this chapter, which is that Big Mom and Kaido are finalizing their alliance. And yeah, forgive my skepticism, but I don't believe for a second that Big Mom is in any way, shape, or form taking this alliance seriously. I'm still of the belief that she is playing Kaido in some way and will more than likely betray him. Now, the bigger question for this is if she'll turn into an unintentional ally like I originally thought. And that's a little harder to know because, as we learned from Whole Cake Island, the whole Lola Viva card thing, it failed. Like, Big Mom hates Lola, so it's not like she can be used as a means to convince her to help them, unless Big Mom has still somewhat of a soft spot for Lola that they can exploit. But it's like it'll be if Big Mom and the Big Mom Pirates end up becoming an unintentional ally or a temporary ally in some way to the alliance. Like I'm just kind of curious now how that's going to play out because there's nothing that they can really do in order to convince her in order to leave. Like like Big Mom, like at this point I think Big Mom betraying Kaido is the only thing that can really that can really help to defeat him, honest. That can really like help in defeating him, honestly. So yeah. Now, with all that being said, there is one thing that did kind of annoy me a little with this chapter, which is that I kind of wanted to see a little more build up to pretty much Denjiro's appearance and how he arrived in order to help. I mean, he explained it, but it's also kind of one of those show don't tell moments. And his appearance in the battlefield, well built up in other chapters, I suppose, did feel a little sudden and left me kind of just wondering about the details leading to this moment. Now, I don't think we're going to get to that. If we are, it would probably be briefly touched on next chapter. But there are moments here where even if the long points of exposition work, it's still like there's still moments in between where I needed to be shown, but not told almost. Yeah. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and list your Crunchyroll. Dead Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.